What it do, boo-boos? How is everybody? I'm really good. I had a easy night at work. Yeah, not much to tell. It was quiet, no trauma, no bloodletting, nothing crazy. So much to be grateful for. Um, Food manifestations. I feel like it's been so crazy lately with our work schedule that I haven't been consciously manifesting these like fun things like I always do that I tell you guys about, especially with food. And I think part of it is because during Lent I wasn't allowed to eat sweets, and a lot of times my authentic active desire for manifesting comes from my love of sweets. So I thought it was pretty funny that today I was like, did we run out of monkey bread? Like, was there not any left? And then I went into the back and they had like all this monkey bread left over from our Easter brunch that like we couldn't sell anymore. And so there was just like 8 like orders of it sitting to the side. I was like, oh great. So I had like a whole monkey bread to myself. And then shortly thereafter, we had a new soup on the menu, so we got to eat that, and that was really fun. It was a chilled crab soup with an herb water poured over top, and there's like this cilantro and avocado to it, and so it turns into this like creamy seafood summer soup, and it's chilled like a gazpacho. It was delicious. It was very refreshing and crisp, and tasted like spring. It was amazing. And then shortly thereafter, my favorite part of cake is the icing. And this girl behind the bar had like a cake box, and she was like, does anybody want the rest of this cake? It's mostly just strawberry icing. And I was like, oh my God, that sounds like the best part of the cake. So those are my fun manifestations and spoils of war. And then that was it. So we're here for our midweek reading, and I feel that I'm finally catching my balance again, which is right on par with our message today. And I feel like I'm finally getting into like catch my breath, and we can get back on the regularly scheduled programming. And I feel like we've been here for the regularly scheduled programming. It's just that I've felt out of body, so it doesn't, I don't know, something has felt off, but we've all still been here. But I'm feeling good, and my schedule's changed this week, so I am now off Thursdays and Fridays. So I'm very excited, and that's going to be consistent, so it'll be easier for me to book clients for readings. And I can do a reading for you if you're remote. We would just have to do it over Zoom. But the best way to reach out to me about inquiries about that is to follow me on Instagram at Liz_Taylor_Magick. Magick is spelled with a CK, just like it is on this channel. And you can DM me and let me know that you're interested, and I can give you the details. Otherwise, like, I won't ever reach out to you or like offer anything or whatever. But like people in like, I don't know, scammers and stuff do that a lot, and pretending to be other people. Even smaller accounts. So just know if you want a reading from me, you would reach out to me via Instagram for now. And that it's easier to get to me through Liz Taylor Magick than it is to get to me through the channel account, which is Light Love Magick. I'm just more active and pay closer attention to the personal account. Okay, so let's get into the reading for today. So we pulled out of the Vintage Wisdom Oracle, we pulled gratitude, we pulled balance, and we pulled celebration, which I'm loving it. Like, I'm feeling like the spring energy is starting. My birthday is next week, and like a lot of people are like asking me like what the plans are and stuff. So I'm really feeling like it's gonna be a really fun time, fun birthday, but I'm already feeling the celebration starting. And I just feel like that's kind of how I feel every spring. It feels like it's just like a celebration of starting the year. I don't know. I'm just feeling the vibe. Okay, so under gratitude, we have judgment. Under balance, we have 7 of Pentacles. And then under celebration, we had Ace of Swords. And so I freaking love the artwork. Like when I find decks that really like go together, I mean, I'm just like, I'm stunned at like how gorgeous the imagery looks together. I just love it. So basically what I'm feeling like is this week, it's kind of like what I was just saying. It's like we're finally able to kind of catch our breath. And even though it's like we've been showing up to life and we haven't been anywhere, it's almost like we've been a little bit out of body, and like we're like walking in like a refreshed soul, like walking back into this like husk of a flesh sleeve, and we're like, all right, whew, that was a lot. What's been going on? What I miss? Like, I just almost feel like that, like it's been that much of a blur. But yeah, I'm starting to feel really grounded again. And I'm feeling like, I'm just going to just discuss these all attached to their anchor cards. But so I'm feeling like the gratitude is coming in because, so having come to this big conclusion of our former lives, the way that we used to see things, the way that we used to do things. If you've been on a journey or a path of awakening and you've been paying attention for the last couple of years, especially if you've been, watching my videos or reading my posts for a long time, we've been like kind of preparing for like 2022 was like a culminating year of like really clearing the ground of anything that wasn't really resonating anymore, anything that was no longer serving us on our path, anything that was just finished in our lives and complete. We were clearing the ground to start a brand new beginning and a whole new story, and like the next chapter of life, like we could be like whole new people, completely up leveled, and like the old self has just died away. And so right now, after Resurrection Sunday, when we resurrected, when we died to the old life and we rose up anew, it's like now it's like we're kind of like walking around in this new mindset, this new yoke, this new cloak, and we feel differently and we're perceiving things differently. It's Judgment card, we've had this awakening, we've had this revelation. And so part of that revelation is that we can see how all the pieces fit together, you know, all along, all through the past. And we can look back on our life and be grateful for it all, even the challenges, especially the challenges. Grateful for how everything played out and how everything didn't play out. But we can see that it all served a purpose, and that we wouldn't be the person that we are had it not been the way it was. And we wouldn't know what we know now. And we wouldn't have the experience or the wisdom or the empathy that we do now without the experiences from the past. Even the pain, even the anger and the sorrow, and some of the more disappointing things that happened. Those served a purpose as well. And even though, sometimes we kind of say blanketed statements like this happened for a reason, and that kind of like, it kind of oversimplifies the things that we go through, because everything does happen because of a reason. Sometimes we're the reason. Sometimes, things happen and they were always meant to happen that way. But sometimes things happen because we had a hand in it. We're co-creators of our reality. And so one of the most empowering things we can do is really take responsibility for everything, even the things that feel like they're out of our hands. And what it does is it gives you a sense of empowerment where you're like, okay, maybe that wasn't my fault, but I can control the way that I react to it. I can control the kind of effect that I let that have on me. And I can either let it make me a more compassionate, loving person, or I can let things make me a shut down, angry, and closed off, bitter person. So, yeah, I mean, I think that we're seeing things that have happened in our lives, and we're starting to connect the dots, and we're starting to see how we've been shaped by them and how we've been deepened and broadened by them. And I think that we're really starting to be grateful for that. And, you know, it's a really mature place to get at, and it's a good sign when you can be grateful for all of those hard things that have happened, like truly, because of what they did for you, because of how they've elevated you and awakened you. But what's even more powerful, you know, when we talk about the whole, the concept that we learn in Kabbalah through the Kabbalah Center, the pause, what a pleasure, why is this in my movie? And that's how we learn how to stop being reactive and learn how to observe and decide, okay, how do I go against my nature here and transcend my lower self? Use my divine given free will to make a proactive choice in this matter, right? And so we can choose in any given moment, okay, what message am I going to take from this? How am I going to use this to grow myself, to evolve? And it's even like, so if you're in the midst of something challenging happening and you're feeling like you're getting the chaos, and you can say, oh my gosh, pause, what a pleasure that this is happening, and actually be grateful within the discomfort. And you're like, oh my God, I know this totally sucks at the moment, but I know that this is unlocking a big miracle. Because wherever the energy is really intense, big light is there, big power. So it can be revealed in a very positive way. And so if that power, that raw power is causing chaos, and we're like, you know what, I'm certain in the light that this can all really change and turn around for a very powerfully good thing. That faith in the light unlocks the magic, right? That certainty. Tack on the gratitude that it's happening to you. Oh my gosh, even though this is a challenge, what a big opportunity. What big, like, raw resources to turn this into, right? Because what you're being given with that chaos is the lead that you can alchemize into spiritual gold that will be like paying into the bank, like making a deposit for like your miracles later. So just remember that if you can be grateful in the midst of chaos, for the chaos, knowing that it's doing its work on you to reveal more light and to break your negativity, and you can participate in that in real time, observing it, oh my gosh, big Mario points. I always like to compare life to like a video game. And when you decide to go on the spiritual path, it's like you activate the game and you're like, okay, spirit team is like, all right, they're in, player on, game on. And so it's like you're Mario. And the world that you see that seems so real, it's all just the simulation, and it's all being orchestrated. And when you are like, yeah, game on, I'm starting the spiritual path, they're like, all right, bring on the challenges, bring on the characters, bring on these things and that things and these elements and those elements. And so it's like in every level as Marios, we've got our little challenges, like, you know, coming at us from every little angle, and we like stomp on them and we kick them and we mash them. And when we overcome those challenges, they usually break open and there's like a coin to grab or little sparkly stars. And so when Mario grabs those or runs through the stars or whatever, or, you know, if it's Sonic or whatever the games are, but you know what I'm talking about, the character grabs their little bonus and then they get big and then they can go faster and like do bigger things and jump higher and like be more powerful against their enemies. And they can reach higher and they're able to like overcome and get even bigger bonuses because they have the bigness and the strength and the speed. Same for the light. when we overcome challenges on each different level, it's like we up level and we become that big Mario. And sometimes it's only a brief spurt of that extra power, but if we direct it wisely, then it can help us get to the next level. And so we keep leveling up and keep leveling up. And even though like the scenery around us seems to kind of change, those like little challenges, they kind of follow similar themes. But like you'll notice that at every level, the opponent up levels with you, and it's always there. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now, balance was with Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles is like a moment where like your seeds are planted and you've kind of done all that you can, and now it's just about like balance the tending, but you've just got to wait until the fruit tree is ready to fruit. There's a period of time where you have to wait for your plants to mature before they can produce. And so whatever your manifestations are right now, this new life, it's just getting started. And so we're anxious because it's like we've come such a long way and we've done so much work to just clear the grounds and get our materials gathered. And we want it all to be there. We want this castle built and ready to live in, but it's just going to take some time. And you can't rush fruit or else it'll be bitter. To wait till it's ripe. And so I think, you know, there's been some themes recently in our messages that at this point you can relax. I mean, don't rest on your laurels, but you don't have to feel like you've got to do these big grand overhauls of self-transformation before your life starts falling into place. It's like you've done a lot of work and you have done a good job to up-level yourself. And that never ends. Like it's a lifelong process of like constant maintenance and work. It's like this unfolding of our consciousness and you know, healing and development. But we do go through more intense periods, and then we have periods where we can kind of chill out and like let the lessons embody, and then we can find our stability and our footing again. And so this is where we're finding our stability and our footing again. I remember in the booklet it talks about this card, and I remember them talking about how ballerinas make everything look so effortless and so beautiful, but you don't see that underneath these shoes, these beautiful, elegant, graceful, delicate satin point shoes, that there are broken, bunion-covered, calloused, bleeding, blistered feet with like toenails hanging by a thread. You don't see all the pain. You don't see the discipline, the sacrifice. They have to have very, very rigid, strict diets. Hopefully, you know, we've become a world that's more accepting of different body styles, but I know particularly it's always been the dark side of ballet, because those clean lines are idealized, right? And you know, it's like they want the ballerinas to look so stick-like, and so there's so much sacrifice and pain and discipline that has to go into it, not to mention hours of rehearsal and pulling your body in ways that's unnatural to get that perfect technique. You know, everything you've got to turn out from your hip sockets. You can't turn out from your knees. It'll hurt your knees. And so everything is structured and disciplined, but it doesn't look like that when the dance is happening, because there's been so much work done that by the time the performance is happening, it's so natural, it's so fluid, it's done, it is almost effortless, but it has been an enormous amount of effort up front. And so right now, you're feeling like the feet underneath the ballet shoes, underneath the point shoes. You're just like, oh my God, I'm a callous tough. When am I gonna get my fruit? But just be patient. Life is going to be changing before our very eyes, before we know it. It's just that we're in that phase where we're waiting for those seeds to germinate and for the sprouts and the seedlings to push through that soil. So in the meantime, just work on bringing balance into your life, into your routines. Work on that, because you need to build routines and structures that are going to be sustainable and that are going to be joyous and feel good. That's going to keep you in a state of wanting to not getting burnt out and feeling in resonance with what you're doing, feeling impassioned about it. I mean, eventually we get tired, you know, but overall, if we can manage to set ourselves up in a way that is something we can maintain and sustain, then it's less likely that we will get crabby and salty and like talk ourselves out of enjoying what we love doing, you know? And then finally, celebration and Ace of Swords came out together. And so Ace of Swords is like, it's a brand new beginning. It's a new mindset. It's a new perspective. It's a new way of seeing things. And I think that we're feeling this like lighthearted sense of celebration. And like, I just feel like she's like the essence of spring incarnate. And, you know, this kind of feeling of blooming after a time of transformation. Like she's like surrounded by the butterflies. You know, you've been like heartbroken for a while and then you're finally over it. And one day you wake up and you're just like, oh. Well, I feel that like getting over the heartbreak is like saying goodbye and mourning all of those old patterns, all the ways that we used to be, all the things that didn't work out that we had hopes for that we're finally just able to let go of. And we've been kind of like mourning that for like the last several weeks. And now we're just like, oh, okay, I'm just ready to like get back out there and have a good time again and participate in life and see what life brings. And it's funny because Ace of Swords can talk about having a slightly bumpy start. Like things maybe don't kick off as fast or as smoothly or as perfectly as you'd like them to in the very beginning, but it's not necessarily a bad sign. It's just push through this initial turbulence and things will be, I think things will be coming into bloom very quickly and very soon. But yeah, celebrate, have fun. Don't get too out of balance. Don't get too overindulgent, but do have fun, be joyous, celebrate. Otherwise, it's like, what are we working so hard in life for if we can't enjoy it, if we can't celebrate? All right, y'all, I am tired. I'm going to be getting ready to go to bed soon, but I hope you have a lovely day. And tomorrow it will be our romance oracle reading. Ciao.